Hello everyone and welcome to Odoo Live. This is Ken, the Marketing Officer here at Odoo Hong Kong, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Joining me today we have Joyce, the Business Advisor here also at Odoo Hong Kong, and we will discuss how to use Odoo Studio to manage your Odoo interface and also how to do some customization based on your current application in this webinar. And throughout the presentation, we will be answering your question. So please feel free to leave your question in the right-hand side, in the live chat box, and Joyce will help me to get to them at the end of our section during the Q&A. And if you got here late, you can re-watch this webinar anytime you want once the live event has finished. And thank you all again for your joining. Let's get started with our webinar, and Joyce, all yours.
All right, thank you, Ken. So hello everybody. So today we'll be talking about Odoo Studio. So first of all, I would like to give you an introduction of Odoo, Odoo's background and market position, and also its value. So first of all, my role in the Hong Kong APAC office. Well, what I do daily is to listen to my clients' business pain points and to discuss Odoo capabilities and features. So as to make Odoo more relevant for their business and also to suggest best practices for them. So here are my email and my demo booking link. So if you are interested, then at the end you can send me an email or book a demo through this link. So the agenda for today will be first introducing Odoo to you, and second we'll be talking about Odoo Studio in a demo database. So I'll be talking about how you can change fields and also views in Odoo Studio. And more advanced, I will also introduce to you how to create links between the different apps that are not linked together. So in the end, we will have a Q&A section. First of all, Odoo is an all-in-one management software. So if you have already created trial database in Odoo, Odoo Cloud, then you will know that we have a wide range of apps, core apps for all your business needs. It's beautiful, it's easy to use, and it's very user-friendly. We have 7 offices around the world now, 3 in Europe, 2 in the States, 1 in India, and 1 in Hong Kong, and all of them are here to service you. So from all our years of serving clients, we have already accumulated 32 supported languages, 32 supported translations. We have now 3.7 million users worldwide and more than 1,000 installs per day. So our Hong Kong office over the 4 years has already achieved a huge number of user growth as well. Here you can see our founder Fabian, and his mission is to help companies grow, empower them, and provide them with affordable business software. So we've already been around for 13 years, since 2005. And here are only a glance of some of our clients, including large enterprises and small medium businesses. And all of them are happy customers worldwide. And for today, we'll be discussing some of the applications mentioned here. So you'll be able to see here that we have categorized all our core applications into 4 groups: websites, sales, operations, and productivity. And today we'll be focusing on especially how Studio can help to customize some of these apps. So this is the business model that Odoo upholds. It's all business operations under one centralized platform. So an overview of Odoo's benefits and value. It's fully featured and integrated. It helps you control and reduce your costs. Its implementation is very fast. Once you install it, it's already ready for use. It's secure and it's customizable. So Odoo Studio doesn't require any knowledge in coding. And I don't know any coding, but I can use Odoo Studio to change and create some of the interfaces, as I'll show you later. And last of all, it's also mobile friendly, and we have apps for you to download after subscription. so that you can easily access your database outside your office on any mobile devices. So now we'll go straight ahead to the demo. Alright, so here on my screen you will see a number of applications I've installed onto this database. And let me first of all introduce to you the Odoo Studio app. After installation, the Odoo Studio app will not appear as an icon on the home page. Instead, it will appear here on the top right. So once I click into it, you will see the screen turning black, and it will provide you a list of customization tools on the left. So you can even customize your home page by changing the wallpaper and importing other apps into it. So let me close this for the moment. So if you remember from my slides, the first thing we will do is to change fields and also change your views. So two different things. First of all, let me access contacts. So here in context, what you will see is a card view. We also have a different view here, the list view. So the card view shows you the information of different customers in a glance. So what we have here is the name of a customer, either a company or an individual, its address, its email, etc. So if I click into one of them, you'll be able to see some integrated buttons at the top and contact information below. So now I want to show you how we can edit this interface using Odoo Studio. So coming into this page, we will click onto the icon at the top right. So once I click into it, you will see the original page becoming smaller because it has to allow for space for the different templates, different changes you can make, which are on the left. So you'll see here a number of different tabs, such as adding new fields. And also you can create links using existing fields over here. So we have a long list of them here, but we will not be using all of them today. So I'll be showing you the basics of Odoo Studio. First of all, we will start by adding fields. So what we can do here, if you have been playing around with Odoo, you will know that dragging and dropping is one of the main benefits of using Odoo because it's easy, it's simple, and it's quick. So if I drag into this text field over here and drop it, just let me drop it below text. Then what you can see here is that it opens up a space for you to add in this new field. So already you can see in this label, if I click into it, this blank here, if I click into it, then on the left, the screen changes to show you the details of this blank. So we have several fields over here, namely the label, help tooltip, placeholder, widget, etc. So label obviously is the name of this field, so let's rename it to, let's say, a retailer ID. So I want to be able to identify this customer by their ID, and I want the ID to appear here. So what I will do is to label it as such. I can also input a useful tooltip here. So assuming that I have different staff who are not using Odoo Studio, who are not familiar with the system, I want to be able to prompt them, so what to fill in this blank. So for the help tooltip, I will say enter retailer ID if valid. Okay, let's say if valid. Alright, then every time my staff, if they use their mouse to hover over the blank, they will see this tooltip, and hopefully this will help them enter the correct information. So apart from that, I can also put in a second hint by inputting the placeholder. So if I say, well, if there's a certain format to the retailer ID, I can input it here. Let's say, for example, ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will again prompt them to input the correct format. And one more thing to remind you of, these fields here that you can see, these are all optional. These are optional fields. Some of them might be required fields. But for now, retailer ID, if I want to make it a required field, I can tick into this box at the top, required, so that every time a customer, well, for a company customer, the staff might have to input a retailer ID before the record can be successfully saved, right? So let me tick into it, required. So if I tick into this required field, then for all, and I save it and I close it, now for this change I've made on one record, it will apply to all different records, including company customers, individual customers. All of them will require a retailer ID, right? But maybe I don't want this change to apply to all of my customers. I only want them to apply to certain customers such as company customers. So I want to leave out the individuals. So what do I do? After clicking required, I can set a condition over here. So if I click into condition, then this view will pop up, which prompts me to add a filter. So if I add a filter here which says is a company, so let me look for that. Is a company, is true, is set or true. Then once I save it and I close it, then all company customers that are newly created from now on or are updated from now on will receive a notification that you must input the retailer ID before you can successfully save. So let's try it now. So if I click onto edit and I ignore this retailer ID and I click save, then you will see the pop-up which prompts me to input the retailer ID. So let me just put in the same thing as my example. And if I don't know what that is, what a retailer ID is, I can hover my mouse over this tooltip to look at the hints. So these are all very useful features, very minute details in the system, but are very tailored to fit your needs, to train and coach your staff as well. So let me just click save here. Now I can successfully save. So I can go ahead back to contacts and also add retailer IDs for my other group customers. For now, I don't have other group customers, but let me change customer 2 over here into a group customer. So I can do that by clicking edit. Okay, it's already a company, so if I try to save again, it will prompt me to do the same thing, and I will this time input a different ID over here. Alright, so what I have just shown you is how Odoo Studio can add new fields for you and to tailor that field to suit your needs, such as changing the label, adding tooltips, adding placeholders, and also identifying this as a required field for certain customers, certain group customers. Okay, so now I will go ahead and show you some other things we can do with Odoo Studio before I apply these changes to another app, which is CRM. So now I want to activate Studio again. So just now you have seen me changing this, adding this field here. What you can do is also to remove certain fields. So if I don't think the text identification is relevant, I can remove this from view so that this field will not exist anymore, or I can directly change this field to another one. So very straightforward and simple here. So right now I want us to look at this top bar over here, which says views, automations, etc. So what we are looking at here is a form, right? But if in Odoo we have several different views, such as the list view, the Kanban view, the report views. So I can also make changes to those views just by using Odoo Studio. So if I click into views, what you will be able to see here is the general views, form and search, other records views such as Kanban and list, etc. So I'll go ahead to show you what we can do with these views using Odoo Studio. So if I click into a form view, what you will see will be what we have just shown you. It's a form, right? And one other useful thing I want to show you is the search field. So we have search bars at the top of every app. When you access every app, we have the search bar, the filters and the grouping, and the favorites, where you can save your favorite filters and groups. So if I use Odoo Studio to open these fields over here, what you will see is the already present filters, my partners, persons, companies. All of these you can already see without using Studio. So what you can do is to add or remove some of the fields here. So for example, let's look at auto completion fields. So auto completion means, for example, if I have a large number of customers and I remember one of them named Joyce, but I forgot how to spell the name Joyce. So I type in the first three letters, Joy, and the system will automatically search for customer names with the letters Joy. And that is the meaning of auto-completion. It automatically finds the remaining untyped letters for me. So I think this is a very useful tool in Odoo because I don't have to type in every letter of the name before I can search for the person I want. So let's say I think name, tag, salesperson, related company is not enough. I want one more auto-completion fields. I can go ahead and search for them on the left. So let's say I want to search for, let me see if there's the field that I want. All right, so here it is. I want to go ahead and search for retailer ID. So you will notice that you have seen me adding retailer ID just in the form view just now. And once I've finished adding that to the form, and I activate Studio again, it shows on the left that this is a new field that I can toggle with, I can play around with and add it to other places just because I've added it to the form view. So it makes it very convenient for me if I want to customize my search bars, filters, groupings, and auto-completion fields. So I can go ahead and drag this retailer ID over here. Now, in Odoo Studio, there is no save button, but you do have a close button, which is the same as save. And if you have made any unwanted changes, you can click on undo here. So you can't see any discard button either. So once you have made changes that you don't want, but you haven't saved yet, just go on and click undo and everything will be, the previous step will be undone. Alright, so now I've added retailer ID here under auto completion field and I want to see how it applies to my contacts. So I go ahead and save and click close. So now I go back to my contacts. And here I want to see how my auto completion field for retailer ID works. So I go ahead and type ABC. So now here you will be able to see a new auto completion field here called ABC, and if I click onto it, I'll be able to find the two customers I have linked to this retailer ID. So if I go ahead and click in 1, 2, 3 for the retailer ID, then only one of them will appear because the other one doesn't contain 1, 2, 3. So again, this Odoo Studio is not only a tool for the interface, not only for views, you can also use it for search bars, filters, groupings, etc. All right. So right now, I want to apply this retailer ID field to the CRM. So let me go back to the home page and go on to CRM. All right, so let me create a new opportunity here and name it, just name it opportunity, op1. And I click create. So this time what I want to do here, I want to show you how to link the customers with the retailer ID to the customer field. So if I click into edit, what I will see here under customers, when I want to type in a name, will be a list of customers, maybe too many. I don't want all of the customers to appear here. I only want the ones with the retailer ID to appear. So what do? I go ahead again and toggle Studio. All right, so after I toggle Studio, again, the templates appear. I go ahead and click into the customer field. All right, so this time, what you will see here, again, similar to what we have seen, some required, some checkboxes, some fields below, but this time we'll not toggle with the label, help tooltip, or placeholder. We'll go ahead and change domain. So remember what I want to do here? I want to link only customers with retailer ID to the drop-down menu so that I can choose within a limited selection. So maybe I think the customers without retailer IDs are not the ones I want for this opportunity, and so I want to only search for those with the IDs. So this time I go to domain and I click into it. So again, you will see this filtering pop-up box, which allows you to use more than one filter. So the already existing filter is a customer is true, is already there. So I want to go ahead and add one more filter, which will help me select the retailer ID, customers with retailer ID. So I go ahead and search for that. Okay, so here it is. So again, the fields that you have added right at the beginning, it will appear in the other places where you would want, where it's helpful for you to use those fields as well. So retailer ID is set. Okay, so I go ahead and click save. Now I have added one more criteria to this drop-down menu. And so if I go ahead and close, now I want to see whether the customers will only have contain Joyce group and also customer 1 or customer 2 just now. Only 2 customers have these, and so bingo, we have those over here. So all the other customers without the retailer ID are filtered out. So again, this is to show you how powerful Odoo is. Once you've made one change in one area, this field goes on to apply to other changes you want to make in other apps. Right, so let me discard this. So 2 more things I want to show you with Odoo Studio. Let me toggle Odoo Studio again. So just now I have talked about views, the form view and the search view, which we have changed. We can also change Kanban views and list views. So if I go and click into Kanban now, what I can see here, I'll be able to see the name of the customer, the amount they might purchase from us, and also the company name. Well, I want to change this card to include more useful information. So what do? I go ahead and click add again. And this time I want to add maybe additional information here, such as, let's say, country. Let's say I have customers from different countries. I want to go ahead and add their email there. It might be too long, so maybe I'll just remove country and add the email. All right. So if you have made any changes you don't want, you can always click undo. But for now, I think it's good to see whether we can add the context there. So I go ahead and say and click close. So what I'll do, I'll go back to the pipeline and to the Kanban view. All right, it's a bit too crowded, and that's why the stars have moved right to the other place. But you get what I mean here. You can add additional information to the card if you want. So this might look prettier in the contact view. So let me go to contacts and do that here instead of the opportunities. So let me go ahead and toggle Studio and click add here. I can add, well, the contacts over here. Maybe not contacts, which is not really the contact information, but the number of people under that company. So I will add a simpler thing, maybe the website. Okay, so I have the website added here. So let me go ahead and click close. So here on this opportunity, I have the website over here, and now it appears on this card. So of course I can add it below to make it look nicer. All right, so one last thing about views. So apart from the Kanban view, remember we also have the list view, which is very useful in Odoo because it's actually a sort of a report. So for all the information that appears on the list view, you can always export these in the form of a report to an Excel or CSV, either selectively or all at once. So for this list view, I can add different fields over here, or I can remove these fields if I don't like them. So let me go ahead and add, just add a text field over here, or let me see. I can go ahead and add, a text field. So I can pull information from my customers just by naming, let's say, let's just choose retailer ID over here. Okay, so let me go ahead and click close. And let me go to the list view. Okay, so because this is a text field, it didn't pull out the retailer ID. But of course, if it's a column field, then it will pull out the retailer IDs from the relevant customers, and you will be able to see this in the form of a report after you export it. All right, so that's for part one of this webinar. So that will be the beginner part, which is relatively easy and especially tailored for those who haven't played around with Studio or is about to try Studio in their own database. Right, so the next part will be a little more complicated. I will show you how to create links between different apps. So the apps that I will look at for the second part will be help desk and repairs. One more thing we will look at is timesheets. So if you have been using Odoo for even a little while, you will know that Odoo is an integrated platform for help desk, but we don't, for certain apps, I mean, we don't have linkages because they are not necessarily related. So project and timesheets are linked together, but timesheets and help desk are not linked together. Timesheets and repairs are not linked together, I think. Okay, so right now and help desk and repairs are not linked together either. So I will now create a link between help desk and repairs. So if I go to help desk, first of all, well, this is the dashboard of help desk, and you will see here support team, smaller dashboard for the support team, which shows you how many tickets you have currently. So if I click into this, I will see the ticket I have that is unassigned. It's 1. So I have created this ticket here just an hour ago for this demonstration purpose. So right now what I want to do here is I will create a link between repair and help desk ticket 001. So right now you see in help desk there isn't any link that can bring me to repairs, right? There isn't any integrated buttons that bring me to repairs, and there isn't any other links here. So now I'll go ahead to repairs and create one. So, all right. So this is the repair order I've created again just some time ago, and this is a repair order for an iPad that have been purchased by a customer, but they are having problems with it, and so they have brought it to you for repair. They've sent in a ticket for repair. So right now what I want to do is I want to link this repair order to the ticket that they have sent. But how do I do that? So first of all, I click into this ticket and I go on to Toggle Studio. So again, after opening Odoo Studio, this time I will not choose a text field, I will choose a linkage field. So these here fields with these icons that seems like a link, well, these are templates that will help you link different fields, different apps together, and I will choose a many to one link and put it right there. So after I put it, I have indicated the space where I want to put it. It prompts me to add a relation to it. And because I want to link it to help desk, I will type in help desk here. And I will link it to the ticket I've just created. So I click confirm. And I now close. So you will see the ticket button appearing here, and if I click on edit, what I will be able to do is to select from a drop-down menu the ticket that I've just created. So here I choose it. I can go ahead to look at the ticket in detail in this edit button too, and so I will be able to access now the help desk that I haven't been able to access just a minute ago without Studio. So I can here look at the details of this ticket. I can assign it to a certain person, address the customer to it, etc. So I'll go ahead and click save. Let me just put a 3-star priority here and go ahead and click save. And do the same for here. So what I'll do now, I'll go back to help desk and see whether the ticket has been changed according to the changes I've made. So I go to help desk here, go to tickets here. So just 2 minutes ago, there wasn't anything there, but I've just made the changes using the repair app linkage, and now you can see the customer link to it and also the 3-star priority. So I've successfully created a linkage between from repair to ticket, from repair to help desk, but now how do I go from help desk to repair? So I want to be able to access repairs and communicate with the repair team about this ticket, but I couldn't do so now. So what I will do here is to add a button at the top, an integrated button we call it, to link this ticket to repair. So again, I toggle Studio, and you'll see there's an addition button here, so I go ahead and click it. So once I click it, it will prompt me to input a label. So I will put in repairs. And I can choose from this icon here what I want the button to look like. And below here, I will choose the related field. So the related field will be, it's already there. So ticket with the brackets repair. So I go ahead and click confirm. And I close. So now you'll be able to see after I close Odoo Studio that I have repairs over here. Previously I I wasn't able to go from help desk to repairs because there isn't any integration here, but now I can go directly from help desk to repairs, and I can look at the details of the repair order and also make changes to the repair order if necessary. So now the linkage has changed from none to one way to both ways. So help desk team can communicate with the repairs team and vice versa, just because I've used Odoo Studio to make these linkages. So this will be the first part to creating links between apps. So the second part of creating links will be similar but a bit different. So I will go ahead to create a timesheet between in help desk, because I want to trace how much time each help desk support member has spent on problem solving for customers. So we are done with repairs. Now I go back to the home page, and I want to go to timesheets. So timesheets without any information will look like this. Of course, we have different views again. We have the Kanban view, we have the list view, and we have the pivot table. So what I want to do first of all, before I go back to help desk, is to create a many-to-one field in timesheets so that it will obtain information from the help desk about its ticket here. So let me go ahead and toggle Studio. And what I will do here is to create a many-to-one field. So let me go ahead and choose one of these, and I will put them here. So the many-to-one fields are not only applicable to forms, it is applicable to list views as well. So here in the relation, I will click help desk. So once I click confirm, a column indicating ticket will appear, and later when I create a timesheet in help desk, I'll be able to show the information of that ticket will show here automatically. Whereas now there are no linkages between timesheet and help desk. So now I'm creating one. So apart from creating a ticket item here, I want to if I want to change any fields here, I can do so too. And these changes will be reflected in the timesheet columns I will create in help desk later on. But I won't do that now. I will just leave it as it is, and I click close. So here we have nothing for the time being. Let me go back to the home page and go back to help desk. And go on to the ticket we have created. And here you can see nothing, even if I click onto the edit button, no linkage to timesheets whatsoever. So if you remember from the steps that I've just shown you, here I will go on to create a one-to-many. This will be the part which is a bit different from the first linkage I've created between repair and help desk. So now I will select a related field, and the field will be ticket. This indicates that it's a timesheet thing, and I click confirm. And you will see automatically a timesheet with the same columns that I've shown you just now drop down here. So I go ahead and say close. So now a timesheet section is added to the ticket. The support team members, after they have been dealing with a certain ticket, what they can do is to log in their timesheets here. So let me just add a description, let's say troubleshooting for customer, and I add a project here, project 001, and I add a task here, and the ticket number here, and the number of hours I've spent, maybe 2. So I go ahead and save, So how does this bring us back to timesheets? So let me go ahead again, back to home page, and go on to timesheets. So if I go back to the list view, now you'll be able to see the record immediately appearing here at the top. Troubleshooting for customer for this project. And the ticket type is 1, the ticket number is 1, and the time is 2 hours spent. So just now, I've shown you in the second part of the webinar how to create linkages between the repairs app and the help desk. So previously there are no linkages, but after using a one-to-many and many-to-one fields in both, many-to-one field only, I'm able to create a linkage between the two. And after that, I've used one-to-many and many-to-one fields in help desk and timesheets to link up the two so that what I can achieve is to, first of all, enable communication between the help desk team and the repairs team. And also the manager of this company will be able to trace how much time their staff has been spending on each ticket. So that's all for today's webinar. If you have any questions, you can raise them now with Ken.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for Joy's presentation. And indeed, we've got numbers of questions, and it's really popular for this module amongst our attendees. And for the first question, someone would like to know, is it possible to export the module once it's finished by the studio, such as the report? If you add some fields into it, will it be reflected in the Excel or CSV format?
For this question, I think what you mean will be to export it onto an on-premise version, if I understand correctly. So let's say, I'm not sure, but you might be using the, let's say, community version, and you want to customize some of the applications there. So you use Studio for one of the modules, and you export it back to the on-premise once you finish. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you mean, then I don't think it works, because Studio is a subscribed app. So we need an ongoing subscription to keep the changes there. So I'm not sure how it works if you export it from cloud to an on-premise version, but that's something maybe the technical team can discuss with you if you're really interested.
Okay. And for the second question, it's about our QWeb report. It may be a technical expert within Odoo, and the guy wants to know if it is possible to create QWeb report by using Odoo Studio.
To create QWeb reports, well, first of all, Odoo Studio changes what you see on the interface on the database. So, for example, if you want to say change the reports, change the invoice templates using Odoo Studio, I'm not sure that's possible. Printed reports are always to be changed using our SuccessPack service. So Odoo Studio changes what you see on the computer, but not what you can print out. So I'm not sure if that works.
Mm-hmm. And for the third question, I think it's mainly about the difference between using Odoo Studio and doing some kind of development. And one of the attendees want to know if there's any performance impact when you make changes in Studio instead of just making a custom module. Maybe can you elaborate more about the difference between doing development or using Odoo to do some kind of customization?
Okay. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you make a custom module, I assume that the changes you want to make are not only on the interface. what you might want to do is to add new features, additional features to what's already existing. So I don't think Odoo Studio can do that, add additional features. It can change and link up what you already have in the system. So I think making a custom module and using Odoo Studio, they're actually doing different things. So I don't think Odoo Studio can perform what you want if you want to add additional features. But of course, we'll have to know what additional features you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the performance impact you are looking for that you want to ask specifically.
Mm-hmm. And for the detail of your question, you can send email to Joyce and she will help clarify and provide more in-depth answer related to your question. And then I think the next question is more or less based on the same issue, which is, can I export my changes to another Odoo instance? As Joyce has mentioned, if you are using community version and you would like to use our studio to make some modification, because we do not have any linkage between our enterprise and community, so the answer is no, you can use the Odoo Studio to make some changes based on your community version. While if the question changes in this way, you're using the enterprise version, while you like to do some customization based on Odoo Studio, well, once you change this to another company, can it be exported to another Odoo instance in this way?
Well, if it's two cloud instances you're talking about, two cloud database, then the other cloud database will have to have its own Studio app, so you don't need to export it actually.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's cloud database 1, export to cloud database 2, cloud database 2 will have to have the subscription of Odoo Studio as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
how about the changes that he made in the past? Can it be fully exported to the new Odoo instance or new Odoo cloud?
Well, as I said, the changes you have made on one database, it actually needs the subscription of Odoo Studio to continue. Because Odoo Studio is not an app that once you have finished making the changes, you can uninstall. It's something that is subscribed. So if the other cloud database does not have Odoo Studio, then I don't think that works.
Okay, great. I think the answer is really clear and is really all around, and I think the attendee will get will get the answer based on Joyce's elaboration. And once again, thank you, Joyce, for this presentation. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our video and click like, because we will have more webinar in the coming days. And if you would like to ask more questions based on today's webinar topics or any other application related to Odoo, you can feel free to send email to Joyce, and I've involved Joyce's email in the description box, so you can find it there. And I'd like to recommend you to book a demo with Joyce, because it's tailor-made demo and you can have one face-to-face interaction with Joyce that she can pinpoint your business case and also provide some of the assistance and solution to your company specifically. And if you got here late, you can just revisit the URL once the live events have finished, and you can rewatch it anytime you want. And thank you all again, and we will have the webinar next week on the same time, at the same time on Wednesday. So don't forget to register on our website, and see you next Wednesday. Bye bye.